And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lord David, and this is Long Live the Queen. Right, we're going to keep on going from where we are, week 34. And we're still pressured, such athletics and faith. You know, as much as I'd want to just start doing some faith, I'm getting really good at my lumen, which I wouldn't mind finishing off, actually. So tell you what, let's then wield. And let's do something else that we're good at. Running, maybe. Dancing, reflexes actually, yeah, reflexes. Reflexes and wielding magic. Come on, Em. You practice chasing a small dog through the castle garden, leaping over unseen stones and dodging through branches. You practice touch blocking skills at full speed, deflecting hands before you can reach you. You learn to direct a beam of searing light through an end of a staff, burning whatever you point at. By concentrating, you can create a wave of discontent into panics, confusion, and rages over people around you. That sounds good. My lady, your father wishes to speak with you. He says it's urgent. Fine, I'm coming. You find your father standing over a map of the coastline, his face grave. Ships have been sighted on approach from Shangia. Not trade ships, this is the war fleet. What? Within a week they will be in northern waters. Within 2 they could reach the capital. Then we will fight to defend ourselves. You can try to use the treasury funds to hire additional soldiers, but it may be difficult on short notice. Let's do it. Fine, we'll do that. We'll need to draw up a naval strategy for our ships to carry out. You could choose to act as admiral and lead the fleet in person, but the danger to you would be very great. Unless you think your personal skills will make the difference, I would strongly advise against it. Yeah, let's direct the fleet. The risk is mine to take. You have your mother's heart. There is one more thing I hesitate to ask, but an invasion. This is the sort of disaster for which a lumen's power may be worth the cost. If the fleet could be destroyed before they reach out waters, many lives would be saved. I don't know any magic that could sink a whole fleet. I'll have to talk to my mentor. Find the Duchies of Ursel in your guest quarters. A fleet of Shangia is attacking us. Is it possible to sink them with Is it possible to sink them all with magic? It is easy enough to attack one soldier, one ship, as a demonstration, but to obliterate an entire fleet? You would need an immense amount of power spread over a large area, more than any one lumen could control. If you tried to raise that much power yourself, you would die. Not could, would. So it's hopeless. We'll just have to rely on our soldiers. But clearly I haven't got the power for that. Tell you what, let's sneak out. And I get my willful up, then I can learn some more magic. I think. Wait, if I'm going to direct the fleet, I'm going to need some naval strategy actually, aren't I? Let me think about this. Naval strategy. Swimming maybe? Yeah, let me get some swimming, just in case I might need to swim. Yeah. Naval strategy and swimming. You learn about the requirements for all civilized sailors to rescue the crew of a sinking ship, even an enemy. You learn about the challenges to naval warfare posed by unpredictable weather, as well as the dangers of sailing too close to an unknown coastline. You learn about the use of ships in transporting ground soldiers between locations. Effective swimming back and forth over set distances. You learn about the hazards of swimming in different natural environments such as rivers, river rapids, ocean undercurrents, and winter ice. That sounds like something I needed to learn. Danger on the high seas. Ships close in on each other, angling into the range. Climbing. Lovely. You'll clamber up the rigging to take a position in your crow's nest, where you can watch the enemy's movements with a spyglass and shout out any necessary changes in plan. The Shangian forces greatly outnumber the Novians. This is unlikely to end well, if only you had more soldiers available. Your skill in long-range magic makes you as effective as a cannon and more maneuverable, but there is far too many ships for you to take each one out individually. Still, your position in the crow's nest allows you to target ships at a distance too great for them to respond effectively. The eventual outcome is not in your favour. The Novian ships are sunk or scattered as the Shangian forces press towards landfall. Your own vessel is hauled and left to sink, and the lifeboats fall victim to flaming arrows. You and your sailors are forced to leap into the water and swim for shore. You know how dangerous the seas can be, and the impossibility long stretch of water between you and safety. Few of you will survive. Your only hope is to find something buoyant from the wreckage to cling to. But there's only so many for those to go around. With the aid of the wooden barrel and your aching, exhausted legs, you manage to propel yourselves to shore. But you know that by taking that barrel, you're doomed someone else to drown. Many good soldiers were lost today, and Novan troubles have not ended. Since you have failed to repel the invasion, the Shanjian fleet will soon land, and their troops will begin to progress towards the capital. The remaining soldiers will hold them off as long as possible, of course, but the main strength of your military has been exhausted. Novian future looks bleak. Well, I'm full on depressed about that now. That was fun. Can I get rid of that? Cheerful. Oh, cheerful. That's just a 10 service. Yeah, I lost a lot of men there. It's a 10 service. Ritual that stuff off. There we go. Right, so that didn't go well. Right, so my remaining forces are not going to do well yet. I'm not sure what I need to do. I mean, I could go back into logistics and strategy, whatever else I've got left to do, but tell you what, I'm going to go strategy just to get that up, and I'm going to go wield magic and resist it. Wielding it. I think wielding it. I'll have master wielding. Strategy and wield magic. Come on in. You study the power of ranged weapons, from arrows to thrown fire and sand. Now the threat of such attacks can shift an enemy's response. Study of use of cavalry in battle, as well as the cost and benefits of travelling with large animals. You learn to shape light into images of things that are far away and things that don't exist at all. Learn to create a powerful explosion of light, burning those caught within it and blinding those who see it. Okay, the invasion of Nova is proceeding. Your coastline is under Senjin control. Soldiers have marched through villages, trampling fields and threatening civilians. A diplomatic delegation from Shanji has requested access to the castle to discuss terms, most likely for your surrender. You lack the strength to hold off their armies, and surrendering now will save many lives. It would seem that you have no choice. Prepare yourself as best you can to meet with the representatives from Shanjia. You expect diplomats and a military representative, a general or an admiral. You did not expect the handsome man decked in jewels who now stands before you. A man announced by your servants as Togami, king of Shanjia. Don't know any of that. Is he really their king? Why would a king come all the way here? And he's a lumen too. My dear young lady, how difficult this must be for you. So much responsibility at such a tender age. Don't pretend to be my friend while you're killing my people. Temper, princess. After all, I am here to save your people. War benefits no one, don't you think? Such a terrible waste. Better to settle things in a civilized manner. A contest, a game, so to speak, with Nova as the stakes. Should I win, then your domain will submit and accept me as overlord with no further resistance. Should I lose, then my army will leave your domain in peace and shed no more blood. What sort of game? It is well known that Nova is ruled by lumens. As it happens, I too possess the power of lumen. I propose a formal duel, my power against yours. The winner takes control of Nova, the loser dies. Your game by your rules for my life? That doesn't sound fair to me. The rules of formal dueling have been passed down for centuries and must be upheld. It is important that we do this by the ancient codes. Why should I? If you refuse, then the war will continue. I'll sweeten the deal. If you meet me in a formal lumen challenge, I'll call off the invasion even if I win. Really? I swear it by the gods, Nova will be free and safe. Why take that risk? You're winning the war. It's not your land that I want, it's your crystal. To gain your power, I am willing to wager my own. Shall we begin? I don't like this, but what choice do I have? Well, this is going to end very badly, I think, but let's accept the terms. Then I must. Togami explains the rules of formal dueling to you, including a careful inscribed circle of wards which will contain the effects of any powers you wield, protecting bystanders from danger. And then it is time to begin. You trade attacks, one spell sensed and countered by another, reserving your strength as much as possible. It might almost be exciting for your life weren't on the line. You need to end this quickly before his experience allows him to come up with a trick you can't defeat. He's used to dealing with magical attacks, but you might not be able to expect a physical one. Perhaps if you rushed him, you could take him off guard. Up close, he couldn't use his fancy spells. But what would you do then? You still have to use magic to win. You can't just grab him and bang his head against the floor. Perhaps you could focus your power into the shape of a sword and attack him with that. Or maybe you could distract him somehow. You could cast a spell that he couldn't block. Magic sword! Motes of shimmering moonlight coalesce into a weapon in your hand. Yes, your first lunge, he dodges, rolling to the ground, but you recover quickly and strike again. In the confined space of the warding circle, there is nowhere for him to run. The final strike is of your moonblade parts his head from his shoulders. You have won. Yes! Wielding magic and wielding swords. Oh yeah! Right, let's get rid of some depressed. Let's visit Julia. I need to talk to you. What is it? That priestess, Celine, she's a lumen. I can sense it. I know. What do you mean you know? If you knew that, why didn't you tell me? You didn't need to know. Your job is managing the domain. Some of us have other duties. Our missions have been passed down for centuries, little princess. We are here to train you. You don't need to know any more than that. Oh, I order you to... You're supposed to obey me. I ordered you to tell me everything you know. That will require more time than we have available. If you survive, you will learn. Ah. Well, that's not going to get me out of any depression, is it? Right, so we're still depressed. What to do? Right, animal handling. Let's do horses. And... Let's learn resist magic. Got to get that up, I guess. Yeah, resist it. So strategy... No. Oh, God, I've gone off now. What was I doing? Horses. No, don't do that. Right, come on. Wait, what am I doing? What am I doing? I've totally just blanked there. Right, horses. And what was the other one? Resist magic. There we go. Horses and resist magic. You learn how to mount and dismount a horse, first with a boost and then from the ground. Learn how to handle the reins and guide a horse around the field. You practice different gains, walking, trotting, cantering and galloping. You may now hunt on the weekends. Good stuff. Learn how to quickly flare magical shields around you and deflect an incoming attack. This uses much less energy than a constant shield, but it requires good timing to be effective. You learn how to maintain a low-level deflection field, so that magical attacks now directly targeted at you will slide harmlessly aside. This doesn't need much power, so you can keep it up for long periods of time. Good times. Once you defeat the King of Shanjia in a duel, the invasion was meant to be over. In practice, it is not quite so easy to expel a foreign army from your lands, particularly when their leadership is falling apart. The remaining Shanjian generals seem surprisingly eager to go home and left without a fuss, but a large number of soldiers have broken ranks and run amok, looting, pillaging their way through Novan just for fun. A number of royal holdings have been damaged and valuables stolen. Not only do you lose them, but you will have to pay their repairs. With so many renegades on the loose, Nova seems likely to have severe bandit problems for years to come. When Togami died, he left behind his crystal, a mauve lumen crystal, with glimmers of pink where it catches the light, such a pretty bauble from such an ugly event. Since Nova won the duel, this crystal is now your rightful prize, but you have no idea what to do with it. For now, you lock it away in the royal treasury. Right, I need to get cheerful up, so... ooh, hunting. You take out your frustration about unhelpless prey animals. You now feel somewhat happier and less angry. But I am still depressed. That is my problem. I am still depressed right now. Right, so... what do I need to do? I'm not sure what's going to happen now, to be honest. I could do with more athletics, maybe. Well, if I can get my willful up. My willful is almost there, actually. So, let's forget that. Let's do something else. Let me get my Lumen Sense magic up. And resist magic. Because once them two are done, I could actually probably put some stuff on, actually, couldn't I? Yeah, let me put my uniform on so I'm better at military. Or was it Katsu for intrigue? Yeah, we'll do that. I'll do my Lumen. Here we go. You learn how to directly counter an offensive magic with your own power, so you can burn out a spell that someone else has cast. This is very dangerous if the other spell is too powerful. You increase skill and power, giving you innate resistance to mind-affecting magic. Your understanding of the flow of power gives you increased resistance to the damage caused by magic. Even without a shield, you can still be hurt, but less than the ordinary human would be. Learn to resist magic fully. Damn it. You learn to detect the latent power that signifies a lumen, even when he or she is not actively working magic. You expand your senses, learning to detect spells and magical creatures at a greater distance. Time has slipped by you so quickly. Only 2 weeks remain before your birthday celebration and your official coronation as queen. Have you done enough to build a stable Nova? It is traditional for the palace to provide entertainment and refreshments for the common people. When a new monarch is crowned, it is a rare opportunity for the poor of the land to dine like nobles. The size and scope of any such feast depend on what expense the royal treasury is willing to bear. A respectable feast. I'm sure we can afford to give everyone in the city some bread and sausage and a bit of cake. Okay, good stuff. Cheerful. Need to get cheerful. Let's get my to 10 service. There we go. Right, so intrigue, military, and lumen. Right, so my lumen is practically done. So, what is it? Intrigue, military. I'm not sure what I'm meant to be doing here. I'm going to be getting some final things up. Let me get dance and flexibility. There might be dancing and stuff. I don't know what's going to happen here. So let's do it. You practice the postures and extensions of solo ballet. Learn to stretch and form an elegant line with your body. You study the secret language of dance and how the story can be told through gestures and positions. You practice stretching into poses and holding them for short periods of time. Your teacher holds your limbs in a slightly uncomfortable position for a few seconds and encourages you to push carefully against the resistance she provides. The castle is buzzing with preparations for your upcoming coronation. Ministers press you with details for your favourite colours and flowers and so on. I'm no good at that. You really can't see the point in wasting time worrying about decorations when there's so much else to be worrying about. Others are more interested in the subject of your marriage. Whomever you decide to marry will be elevated to the highest ranks of the nobility, which could mean a major shift in the balance of power. Therefore, everyone is talking about the top candidates, even though you're under no obligation to marry so young. Talaris, the Duke of Sedna, is one option. Certainly he expresses interest in marrying you earlier. Your union would bring stronger ties to the domain of Talassi and improve the situation along the Elaf border. However, your earlier rejection of him would seem to make that less likely. Then there is Banian, the Duke of Marie, a powerful and eligible noble, only about 10 years older than you. There's Kirian, the new Duke of Lilia, who's close enough to your age that you remember meeting him at school, where you had already becoming quite handsome. Lilia is a powerful territory, and he has family ties to much of Nova. It will be a good match. Kirian, the Duke of Lilia. Except, of course, that you are responsible for the death of their mother. Oh, yes, I remember that. There's Linley from Kygel, whom you danced with at the gala. He's only 2 years older than you and a nice fellow. He's not the official hire of Kygel. His father has so far refused to name one, waiting to see which of his children is most talented and dedicated to the duchy, but whether he inherits it or not, he will at least have strong ties to that region. There's little Adair, the eventual Duke of Ilaf, although at 12 he's only a child. At least he's almost old enough to understand the concept of a romance. Some people think he ought to marry Gwenella's half-brother, Insect, who hasn't even turned 9 yet. There are 2 or 3 minor elves around the age of 20 who might be possible alternatives. And of course, you could decide to ignore noble traditions entirely and marry a commoner, if you were prepared to deal with the uproar. While you will need to marry eventually, you are still very young. You could put this decision... You could put this decision off until later. However, a clear succession contributes to the stability of your domain. Are you leaning towards any options? I'm not, to be honest. No, I'm not. You are in no hurry to get married. You have a country to run. Yeah, I've got a country to run, sweetheart. Don't you worry about that. So let's get my depressed gone. Finally, we got a depressed out of here. Right, so... final wants to beef up here. Okay. Let me do animal handling again. I like my dogs and falcons. Let's get that up. You carefully feed tidbits to your bird while she rests on your glove. Practice walking around holding the bird attached to you by a short length to ensure she doesn't fly away. You roam around the castle and grounds with your dog, letting him learn his ways while he becomes accustomed to the sights, smells and sounds of the castle. Inhabitants, okay? You begin training your dog to follow simple commands such as follow or staying in place. At this time last year, you were celebrating your 14th birthday. You were in the school gardens surrounded by your friends. A teacher brought you tea and cakes, while a wealthy merchant's son wove a crown of flowers up for your head. It didn't matter so much that you were a princess then. Your title was something for the future. Many of your peers would be duchesses or earls or the like, someday, but not then. You were children. Your parents could not attend on the actual day, but they did send wonderful gifts, some for you to share. And a week later, they came for a visit, and your mother took you with her through the countryside in a splendid carriage. It was the last time you would ever see her. If you wonder if, wherever she is, she can see you now. You are 15 years old, a legal adult. You have worked and studied and suffered and prepared, and now the time has come. You kneel before the priestess, barely hearing her words as she recites the blessings. She calls upon the gods to deliver peace, wisdom, and prosperity to you, and throughout you and all of Nova, and then she calls upon you for your oath of rulership. Will you guide and govern and protect your people to the best of your ability, according to law and custom? I will. Will you be the best of your power? Will you, to the best of your power, uphold the ideals of love, honor, justice, and mercy? I will. Lords and ladies assembled, I present to you your undoubtful queen, who has sworn you her loyalty. You who have come to give homage, will you do the same? One at a time, the head of each duchy approaches your throne and kneels to swear his or her service to you and your heirs. People of Nova, I give you Elodie, daughter of Fidala, your true sovereign. What say you all? Long live the Queen! Thank you all, I will. Once his daughter was secured on her throne, Jocelyn returned to his birthplace to focus on duties of Duke of Calaris. He has pursued by many women, but shown little interest in remarrying, directing them instead to his brother, the Duke of Mazomba. The subject of magic and lumens remains a slightly uncomfortable one for the citizens of Nova. Perfectly fine for the Queen, who has inherited it by divine right, but not something that other people should be inspiring towards. Look at all the terrible things that had happened when that power fell into the wrong hands. As you openly acknowledge Lumen, Juliana, Duchess of Ursel, was met with public suspicion. Whenever she journeyed outside of her duchy, at times that suspicion was accompanied with thrown vegetables. It did not matter that Elodie supported her fully as a member of the noble court. That only led the commoners to whisper that Juliana was a bad influence on the Queen. Juliana's perpetually married state was even more worrying to those with wagging tongues. What if that influence rubbed off on the Queen, and left Nova with no heir? After the failed invasion, relations with Shangia remained tense. First came the recriminations and demands from the Queen of Shangia, devastated by the death of her husband, which Elodie ignored. Next came the subtler approaches, the quiet gratitude and offers of alliance from ministers who were thrilled to see Tagami gone. Elodie ignored those also, which was just as well, since the next thing to arrive was the preserved head of one of those treacherous ministers sent by the Queen of Shangia as a warning. There was no sign of war in the immediate future, but there was not likely to be an alliance either. Elodie eventually married a foreign duke in order to advance alliances and promote a Novan strength. It was not a love match, but the two parties learned to respect and care for each other. They'd raised 2 children, a son and a daughter. As a Lumen, it was Elodie's responsibility to defend Nova from monstrous threats. She decided that the monstrous within the realm were every bit as dangerous as those outside, and thus set herself to task and conquered the old forest. Each monster would have to be identified and carefully studied in order to defeat it without upsetting the balance. It would take many years to reach the heart of the forest, but Elodie was undaunted, and thus Queen Elodie's legacy stretched into the future. Long live the Queen. Show the log. Okay, yeah, let's never show the log, because apparently that logs me out and goes online and looks at something on there, so let's not do that ever again. But yeah, apparently I've done it. I've become the Queen. I don't know where that is, like checklists, achievements. So that was, yeah, being crowned Queen. Died at least once, died 5 different ways, 11 different ways, challenged someone to a duel, then someone to ransom, being sent flowers by a woman. Discovered a terrible family secret. Paid a reward for killing a refugee. A fugitive. Survived the old forest. Hired a Lumen minister. Ordered an assassination. Forced someone else to get married. Achieve a naval victory. Become an evil minion. Saved the day with the power of music. Sunk a fleet of magic. Encountered a tentacle monster. Caused a couple to divorce. Forged a military alliance. Wow, look at all this stuff I've got to get through. Being blessed by the favour of cats. Romanced the commoner. Summoned a creeping shade. Weird. Discovered who killed my mother. Did I do that? I don't even remember what that was. Ordered a human sacrifice. Found a magic mirror. Found a rebellion in an error. Hired a spy. Triggered an earthquake. Kissed your fiancé. Poisoned a chicken. Made Charlotte a Lumen. Oh, I forgot that crystal off that guy. I can... Imprisoned my uncle. Willfully recruited an advisor. Okay. Make your blood run dry. Choked on magical chains. Fallen victim to monsters. Cracked your skull. God, there's so many different things. I don't even know if I can even do all these things. But right, yep, I'm going to bring it an end for this episode though. So we finally did it. We finally became the Queen. But there's obviously a lot more stuff I've got to do. So I may pursue that again in the future. But yeah, I just wanted to have a go and just see if I could actually become Queen on this game. Because I couldn't remember how it all worked. And clearly I did it all by physical attributing and learning my magical ways. And that's how you do it, apparently. Surely there's other ways to do it as well. But obviously I'll do that sometime in the future. So thank you for joining me on this journey of saving the Queen. And as always, please take care of yourselves.